You keep what you catch. Don't get caught, you can keep what you catch. Yes. I like it. That's a lot of alliteration. That's nice. Well, good morning, guys.
Good morning, Mary.
Okay, so who is up the earliest or the latest? So far, we've got 5 a.m.
Winner!
Winner!
Wait, is that what
Yeah.
No, it doesn't count. You got at least an hour.
Yeah. Laura, I think, is going to beat us all. At some point, she's going to pass out. I have a bet at about 2:30. She's going to reach a new form of
Yeah.
which is where I've been for a long time. Jet lag is fun. Good morning, you guys.
Morning.
What'd you guys do last night?
Slept.
See, you slept. You did good things. Good things for yourself, which is sleeping. And hopefully showering is also a good thing to do at a con. Yeah, always use deodorant. I don't know who said that first, but I think Steve was always telling people to do that. So hi, I'm, you guys know who I am, right?
Mary.
I hope so. That's why we're here.
Good. Well then let's start talking. What do you want to talk about this morning?
I want to hear you sing something from Disney.
From Disney?
Yeah.
Tale as old as time. Actually, Steve and I wake up and I've got a cat named Ash. I'm such an alien freak that my cats are named Ash and Bishop. And the one before that was named Jones. And every now and then at like 4 in the morning, Ash likes to put his face and paws this way, which means the other side of Ash goes into Steve. And at the same level, so I hear at 4 in the morning, cat butt in my face, brown hole in my eye, which I think is a really good version of Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, yeah.
Don't you know? Don't you know?
That's the real tale as old as time.
That's the real tale. That is a tale as old as time, because that is a stinky tale, let me tell you. And oh my gosh, okay, this is female pyramid head, guys. Oh my goodness. This is, I heart you. I heart you so much. Come to my table, I'll give you something because you just look amazing. That is, oh my gosh, you've got stilts or something on. How are you even? There's stilts? Brava. That's all I gotta say is brava. Unbelievable. So I sang the songs for all this game series called Silent Hill. Brava. And there was a wonderful character called Pyramid Head that used to rip skin off of people. It was pretty fantastic. And she makes it into a lovely dress, which is fantastic. She's the Lady Gaga of Silent Hill. Yes, that's her, or the Buffalo Bill of Silent Hill. Oh, we're gonna get really dark this morning, aren't we? We've already started with Beauty in the Brown Hole, so that's probably not a good idea. And that's okay, because it was just a song. It was just a song about my cat's butt. So this is still PG-13, I haven't said anything. The innuendo is okay. Innuendo doesn't matter, does it? Sorry.
Yeah.
It's all implied, yes. All innuendo is all implied. So Steve and I did this amazing thing yesterday. If you follow us on Twitter, we put up some video of, we went shark diving at the aquarium yesterday, which is kind of mind-blowing. I have to say, Florida Aquarium, wherever you are, I just love you. That was really cool. What else? All right, let's just ask questions. What do you want to talk about? I'll talk about anything. Anything at all this morning? Yes?
Favorite moment on Critical Role?
Oh, I am a monster. I love, for those of you that, do all of you guys know about Critical Role? Yes. It's an online D&D game of nerdy, can I say ass? PG-13, yes, nerdy ass voice actors. This is what Matt Mercer says it to be, playing Dungeons & Dragons. And I had never played Dungeons & Dragons. It was always one of those things where there was some people in high school that we didn't talk about that played Dungeons & Dragons on the weekend. Now, I was a nerd by leaps and bounds in high school anyway, and I was in the band and played the bassoon and was obsessed with Star Wars and Jaws and E.T. and everything else. But D&D went a little far. I was just like, what is this? I don't know what this is. Not finding out till years later that D&D is just improv with dice. And basically societal world building, group improv, amazing fun with your friends. So they brought me on as, I was like, I'll be a tiefling warlock, because I don't know what that is, but I'm at least limited to 3 spells or spell slots. And ended up killing a white dragon, an adult white dragon named Rhymefang. That was pretty fantastic. That moment was when he goes, "No, you can't." And I said, "Yes, yes, I effing can. And that was just a glorious moment to see Travis and Laura so excited because I didn't know what I was doing, and I've become hooked. I'm rivaling Laura's dice collection. I've got a woolly mammoth die. Gil, the forger, made me a die out of lava called Volcanus that we're still waiting to roll for the first time. We play with Bobby, Logic, Bobby Hall, who's Logic, a rapper, Brian Foster, who is Tox Machina, Jennifer Muro, who is the writer of Forces of Destiny for Star Wars, Shiloh Strong, who he and his brother did this amazing movie. It's a really good bunch of nerds. The problem is that we're all really busy, so it's hard to get together to create all this silliness and wonderfulness. So, my favorite part, I love everything with Pike and Grog. I just think they're amazing. I loved killing a beholder. That was really fun, and then immediately losing Laura to have Vex just go down. I like the moment of the two of us just talk. I don't know, there's so many, but I think, is Gil also the I lost my hands. Who's the powder seller? Victor. Anything Victor does is my favorite thing. Anything Victor does. Matt Mercer is an absolute genius. And I keep telling him, I was like, Matt, you're an unbelievable voice actor. There are very few like you, but you will be known for your storytelling. You will be known for this. Because we went to Ren Fair this year, and I actually dressed as Zara, or weird, it's sort of my version of Zara, because I didn't want to do the full, but I had tiefling horns and a dragon staff and everything. And we walked in, and just the staff of Renaissance Fair came up and just said, thank you for bringing us out of the basement. You know, that we are now in the light, and it's cool, and it's fun, and people realize that it's nothing to be afraid of, and it's not devil worshipping or anything else. It's just improvisation with dice. And you can do it with anything. We're hoping we can do it with Star Wars as well. I mean, you could do it, there's so many different versions of it now, and you could probably do it with Batman Lego if you wanted to. If they ever created one, you could create your own world. So it's not just all about sorcerers, and although spellcasting is pretty amazing. It's really fun. Although I'm playing now a wild sorcerer who is schizophrenic and doesn't realize it, that she was cursed by her evil uncle. And so her name is Griffin Arundel, and she's very much like Queen Elizabeth from The Crown, that fabulous series. But the minute all of a sudden she casts a spell, and our DM Larry will be like, roll on the table, and I'm like, and all of a sudden Jersey comes out. How you doing it? Burning hands! Goodbye, everybody. Tip your waiter. And then all of a sudden, why am I wearing a beard of owl feathers? And so she has no idea, and we don't play enough to figure it out yet, so it's really fun. Spellcasting is fun. Do all of you guys play D&D, or is it just, yeah, right? Okay, how big's your die collection?
Goodness, I have to bring it in sections. If I go to my car right now, a little under 2,000 or so.
Whoa.
What's your favorite?
Well, huh?
Or do they rotate?
Well, no, I have a set from Pathfinder Society from a couple years back. They did a thing at one of our Florida conventions where if you DM'd all weekend, then they gave you a set of dice. And one of my players absolutely hates those dice, so those are my favorite because it makes everyone cringe.
He accidentally stole one once, and he got them back, and then they kept critting. They were reunited.
Yes, the evil DM
I
die.
go a little overboard for it. I have a full projection board in the back of my truck. So.
Oh, that's fantastic. That is fantastic. I've got some whiskey stones that are that I figure they come 3 from Artisan Dies, I think, and they you get 3 whiskey stones that are D20s. And I figure if I ever have to roll saving throws, that I would just put 3 of them in scotch, and take one out, roll one, roll the next one, take the next one out, roll it, and just use those because that would be fun. Are there any dice sellers downstairs?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna have to take a walk later. Somebody come to my table and we'll take a die run and see what we can find.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Bring core books for you to sign.
You can bring whatever you want to sign.
Cool. I just want to make sure.
I'm not into hairy chests. It's difficult to get the Sharpie through. It's just
I brought a razor.
level of hair is less than Robin Williams. Less than Robin was a hairy man.
Oh, yeah.
That's a pretty high standard for hair right there. We miss you, Robin, so much. And your hair. Always, always, always.
It's because he was stuck in Jumanji for so long.
He was stuck in Jumanji forever. I can't. They're remaking Jumanji, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
With Dwayne Johnson, who's amazing. I got to direct him a long time ago before he became. I hope it's good too because I love Jumanji.
Oh, yeah.
That rhino that's always, holding.
Yeah,
It's like that
Jack,
big.
And Jack Black be in it too.
Oh, Jack Black's gonna be in it.
And
Okay.
Kevin Hart.
It's funny watching Jack Black as a teenage girl.
Oh, see, but what I've stopped doing is I am now part of my own society that no longer watches trailers. I didn't watch
Kevin Hart
anything before Rogue One, before The Force Returns, because I wanted the experience. When I was a kid, and I know I'm a lot older than most of you, I saw Star Wars in the movie theater when I was, what year did it come out, 77?
77.
All right, so I was 10 when it came out. And I had not, and if you look on YouTube, you can find the old Star Wars trailer, which is a story of a boy and a force and a girl, and it's terrible, and it's not John Williams' music. It's awful. This movie looks terrible. So I remember as a kid not wanting to see this. I'd seen a couple commercials like, this looks stupid, and that was when they still had photos in the lobby of what you were about to see, and they had the shot of Luke in the trash compactor with the thing around his neck, and points if you know what that thing is called. There you go, points. Points for you. After midnight just ended, but points. And I was like, this is some space octopus movie? What is this? This is awful. And it was sold out, so we had to wait another 3 frickin' hours. What is this? I sat there like some idiot 10-year-old awful kid that I was, and just, and I don't think I ever let go of the armrests for the rest of the movie. And that moment of seeing this movie and having no idea what it was and just letting it flow over you, and it was that, and then after a while I was like, let's watch every trailer, and now they show you everything. They show you everything. So I just want to be surprised. I haven't seen any trailers. I'll watch like the first 10 seconds of whatever it is, the first teaser, and then all right, I'm not gonna watch it. Yeah, it's like the new poster for whatever the new Avengers movie is with Kate Blanchett with the thing, and it looks like Hulk and the Thing, but I don't know, and I'm just like, I'm not gonna see the trailer, but whatever this is glorious, and I can't wait to see it, so I'm gonna stick with posters for a while. So yeah, but I'm hoping they don't mess up Jumanji.
No, me neither.
It was so good, it was so innocent, and I think really underrated at the time.
And he had his father playing the hunter, it's perfect.
Yeah, that was
same
perfect,
actor.
and he's such a great actor too. I think he just, did he pass? Anyway,
I don't know.
maybe not. Anyway, he's a wonderful actor, and so he was great. Okay, what else? Yay, Jumanji. Yes.
Okay, it's going towards the Silent Hill.
Yeah.
When you were doing like all your singing and stuff, did you work with, I'm probably gonna botch his name like crazy, Akira Yamamoto. Did you actually work with him?
I did. Akira
How was he?
Yamaoka.
Was he fantastic?
He's amazing. He writes all of this really moody, dark music, and then he comes up with an idea of, I want however the music sounds, I want the lyrics to be the complete opposite. We call it playing against the context of the music. So you've got this beautiful lullaby, Room of Angel music, but the lyrics are all about how you despise your mother. And then you've got this really sad, sad, sad song, The Letter, and the lyrics are all about, we were put here to feel joy. So, and that's always been the juxtaposition of Silent Hill, and so you would think that Akira would be this really moody, dark guy. He's not. He is the sweetest, happiest, most collaborative. He's just like, you do you. I picked you because you are in juxtaposition to all of this music, your voice is. So let's make that you make this, so, and I sort of went, okay, like, sounds great. So he's unbelievably collaborative. He got 100 bands together or something for Killer Beat, I don't know, this new punk rock amazing soundtrack, and he's just a genius musically, and we've been touring together now for a couple years. We're very big in Russia. because we figured out that Russia in November is Silent Hill because it's so, sorry, I said it yesterday, but it's like the sun doesn't come up till 10 and then it starts to go down again at 3 and it's foggy and you never see the sun, never. And it's just dark and gray and there's lack of color, so the whole palette is very sepia tone and black and white. And,
I just absolutely adore the Silent Hill soundtrack.
Thank
Every single
you.
one of them, and Tender Sugar is my favorite.
Oh, yay!
Tender Sugar is my all-time favorite song.
So here's this really sexy, awesome song, but it's all about drug addiction, right? It's all about this white sugar, we'll say, and it's basically about heroin or crack or something, I'm not sure,
It's
but...
actually, it's crazy. And then Your Rain is my other favorite one.
Oh, yeah.
Those two. Those
That's really fun. When we do that in concert, we rock that out. We go really fast with that at the end. It's really fun. And he's so much fun to be on stage with. And we've got this amazing drummer, Israel, who's from Mexico, and this bass player. We sort of rotate out bass players. But man, it's a great thing. Yeah, we're going back to Russia. We're going to be doing a concert with an orchestra, which is my dream for sure. And maybe I'll be able to conduct one day. I've always wanted to do that. My Bugs Bunny dream, Hollywood Bowl. Yeah, all the way in the back.
Do you have any news about any more Ghost in the Shell series where you playing as Kusanagi again?
You know, I don't. I'm not sure. There's a big acquisition. Sony just bought Funimation, and Funimation did Arise. And when they did the casting for Arise, they had recast everybody in Japan. So they did this for the prequel. So they did the same thing here. And Richard was like, "Nah, buddy, that's BS, buddy. I should play Bato, buddy." And I was like, because he's the one person through all of Ghost in the Shell that has played Bato the entire time. Like Mimi played Kusanagi in the movie. I wasn't doing voiceover at the time, and then she moved. And I got lucky enough to get the job from there on out, which was great, to play her. But I don't know, I guess they're doing another series, is that right? I heard maybe, which would be great, I think. And I didn't see the movie because I've been so busy and the stars never aligned for me to actually get to the movie theater. But who knows, maybe by having that back into the spotlight, they'll do more. And boy, we're still doing First Assault. Like, we still go in and do voiceover for the online game. So she's still alive. She's out there in a cybernetic body kicking it around the internet somewhere.
Watch trailers is what you said. What did you think of Scarlett Johansson playing as her in the movie?
I haven't seen it. It's just, you know, sometimes life gets in the way, and I just didn't have time to go and see it. And we did con after con after con, and then traveled, and I've got 5 new shows I'm directing, so I'm just crazy busy. So.
They did add in the crowd thing. I did notice that from the first movie that you voiced in, and they added a lot more parts to it.
Oh, that's good. Did you like it?
I loved it.
See, I know a lot of people that did.
The critics said that they didn't think it was that good, but mainly because they didn't know how the story really was, and they never even watched the actual show.
Oh.
They never even watched the
Well, you have to make a movie for people who aren't diehard fans. That's the one problem I always find with transitioning, you know, a movie or making a movie based on a series or based on a popular, especially with anime, because it can be so out there. If you're not making it for everybody, then you're just sort of making it for a very small audience, because a lot of people haven't seen Ghost in the Shell outside of this community, you know? So you always have to keep those people in mind, I feel like, when you're doing it. So if you're just catering to the fans of the series, you're sort of leaving people behind, you know? It's like, I'm such a huge Stephen King fan. The only series I couldn't finish was The Dark Tower. For whatever reason, I couldn't get through it. I was like, oh, he's just walking forever, this guy. And I hear, unfortunately, that the movies, I hope it's good, but
I heard it's not too great.
I heard it's not too great. I'll say the critics have not been kind to it. And the people who are huge fans, Brian Foster and Ashley Johnson, are the biggest Dark Tower fans. So they went to see it last night. So I'll ask them today what they thought, because if they're not playing to people beyond the books, it's always trouble.
It's always better to go see a movie yourself, obviously.
Yeah.
Form your own opinion. You know?
Exactly. You know, Jaws 4 was fantastic. Let's just put it out there. That you can stab a shark with the mast of a boat. I mean, with the whatever that is. Anyway, next question about anything you want to talk about. Yes.
Have you tried to approach Rebecca Sugar about you doing a song?
You know, when I didn't even know that they'd done songs. Because I only have enough time in the day to work on what I'm working on because I have so many shows now. I'm doing Tangled and Dorothy and this new show. I can't wait for you guys to watch it. It's going to be so amazing. Based on an old series, which is really exciting. And that should be announced soon. I've been working with Michael Douglas and Diane Keaton on this new series. And so I'm so busy that I don't have time to watch the shows that I'm in, which is terrible. And all of a sudden I'm directing Zach in a new series, and I just looked at him and was like, oh my gosh, you've grown like 1.5 feet since I saw you last. So I would love to. I did ask Rebecca about the hospital episode, and I said, I finally got to see the hospital episode, and did you base that at all on Silent Hill at all? And she goes, well, we're kind of fans of that too, so. Because Rebecca's really quiet and really shy. She's like the two women on SNL who used to be on the NPR ladies, and Alec Baldwin would come on and they would talk about their favorite recipes and sweaty balls. Yeah, sweaty balls. So Rebecca's very quiet and wonderful. And
adjusted her mic like 3 times when she was in the panel.
oh, really?
Bring it closer.
I know, because she's so quiet and she's so nice, but she's this quiet genius. She's like Noelle Stevenson, who's this book award-winning genius who I'm working with on a new series, and they're both so quiet, and it's wonderful. I'm very lucky. Yes, next. Yeah.
As an actor, is it hard for you to watch the stuff you've been in and enjoy it as like a viewer or outside of working on it?
It's hard for me to watch myself on camera. I don't mind listening to my voice at all. I've gotten pretty used to that. But God, even looking at the video from the aquarium yesterday, I was like, I got to go on a diet. I mean, it's like, but that's all vanity, and that's all your own insecurity, which as an actor, most of us have a lot of insecurities. And that, to me, is one of them. Just growing up as a heavy child, and it's always been sort of something I've been struggling with. So it's difficult for me to see pictures of myself, and that's, people always like, look at my picture. I was like, that's so nice. Because I can't. I've always been that way. It drives Steve crazy. He goes, look, I'm beautiful. And I'm like, I can't. So my own insecurities get in my way, as we all have, But I really like listening to, it's just the opposite for voice acting. I'm fascinated to hear what I did, because it's such a subjective thing. Like how you hear your voice in your head can be very different than how it actually sounds to everybody else. So you have an idea of what you did, especially when you're doing like broad characters, or Governor Price, for instance, from Star Wars Rebels, and it's just, is she too arch? Did I play her too arch? Because you try and disconnect yourself from too much critique as you're actually in the moment doing something, and then they take it and it's gone, and you don't get to hear it again until it actually comes out on TV. And that's when I dive in. I'm like, okay, what did I do? How did it sound? How can I tweak it? How can I adjust it? For some reason, my insecurities don't come into play when it's just my voice. And I need to figure out how to transition that level of security into how I see myself as well, which is a good lesson for me to try and figure out as I get older, and as we all do, yeah.
What was your least favorite role that you've ever done?
Oh, I would never speak ill of Fist of the North Star, but I have to say, when I was doing on-camera stuff, I talked yesterday about playing all these battered women, and after a while it gets really old and it starts to filter into your psyche. It's like, I don't want to be a battered woman. I'm not. I'm a strong woman, but it's starting to filter into my psyche. So when I started doing voiceover, it was a way for me to play women that weren't, were more empowered, like Kusanagi and I think the Queen Diva from the Bugram Empire and the Wanderers, and even Noriko from Fushigi Yugi, even though she turned out to be a guy. But for a while, she was a very empowered woman. Oh, my brain just went numb. Say the question again.
Your least favorite role?
Yes. See, I'm just avoiding saying how much I hated Fist of the North Star. I played this character called Yulia on Fist of the North Star, and it was just, every episode was, she got kidnapped by these guys and by Steve Bloom, actually, put in a tower. I was put in a tower by Steve Bloom, stripped away from Lex Lang, and it was, every episode was me yelling, kill! Ken! And Lex going, Yulia! Ken! Yulia! And it was just over and over, and she was useless. She was useless. She was so useless. And she sat in a tower and played the harp, and she goes, I've been playing this song. It is the song of my sadness. And I was just, oh, lady, do something with your life. And she finally did. She jumped out of the tower. And I just thought, oh, awful lesson. This is a terrible lesson for young women. It's like Twilight. Don't read it, it's terrible. Terrible lesson for young women, don't do it. You are complete without a man, you're complete whatever who you want to be. Anyway, I couldn't stand, and I was so happy. I was like, yay, I'm out of the show now, because I've jumped out of the window and went kasplat, yay. And they said, no, we've got another part for you, and I burst into tears. I was like, please don't make me do this show anymore. I just can't, it's terrible. They said, no, she's a really, really empowered female. And I said, it doesn't exist on the show. They said, trust me, she's really strong. I said, okay. So I got behind the mic, and the first scene, some guy rips her top off, and I just burst into tears. I was like, this is not what you promised. So, I mean, I'm not some militant feminist, but I do believe after a while it's just like, do we have to have every woman being rescued all the time? What's the movie where she says, and he rescued her right back? Was that, I forget what that was. It was some beautiful story. It's probably Tangled, I don't know. You know, it was probably Tangled that I...
Princess Bride.
Princess Bride! Yeah, sure, yeah, so that was great. Speaking of Princess Bride, I'm a huge Hamilton fan now, and you know, look at where we started, and look at where you are, look at where you started, and they put Robin Wright from Wonder Woman, look at where you are, and then her as Buttercup, look at where you started, and I just burst into tears. That's good, for a good reason. Yeah, so, yeah.
Who would you think of your circle was the best for the Hamill along? I saw it on Twitter.
Oh, Laura and Ashley, and oh my gosh, but everybody, I mean, Laura kind of destroyed. I was sitting in the car just crying. I loved Liam. I loved Sam's rap in his car. I loved Matt's. There was some good Hamilton going on in cars all over LA at that one point. It was nice.
I always forget Sam can sing, and then he just destroys it.
I know. Sam was on Broadway. Sam and his sister Eden were in Les Mis. I'm pretty sure I saw them on Broadway.
Well, let me forget it, so yeah.
Yeah. I know. So, yeah. Have you guys seen Hamilton? Have you, anybody? It's hard. I know it's hard because the tickets are stupid expensive, and it's hopefully it will come in a touring company soon down here, which would be great, and won't be so. I'm looking forward to the first junior high production. That's the one I want to go to. You know, I think it would be amazing, don't you? Man, because these kids, I think, are much closer, one, to learning about all the history and entrenched in the history of everything, if it's a good school. I don't know. They still teach history, I'm assuming. Sure. Anyway, we won't get into politics, I promise. That's for Twitter. If you follow me, you know what I mean. I'm a terrible troll. Every morning, wake up, troll the president, and let's go to school, or let's go to work, or whatever. Anyway, so Hamilton is amazing, and even if it's just listening to the lyrics and to the first time I listened to it, I was doing concerts in Russia, and I came home on Monday, and it was November 7th. Of last year, and then we voted on the 8th. But I was listening to Hamilton for the first time on the way back from Russia, which I thought was pretty amazing, and it empowered me to go and vote. It was pretty fantastic. And then I went to Australia and cried. But that's okay, it's all good, everything's fine. What's next? Let's move off of that subject. Yes!
What was it like working on the HD collection of Silent Hill?
Oh, that was a huge, okay, so when Silent Hill first came out, they did all the voiceover over in China, Malaysia? And they found, I think it was Silent Hill 2 and Silent Hill 3. And Silent Hill 2 was done by actors, and they couldn't get the approval to re-release it high definition from the main actor. So I was approached by Tom Hewlett, who I'd been working on a lot of the Silent Hill games with, second directing some of the voiceovers on all of those, and we had just done Book of Memories, I think it was called. So he said, we're gonna redo it, and we can't get approval, sign off. It was non-union back then, So we're going to redo it, and we want you to direct it. And I was just thrilled because I'm so invested in the series and so invested in the world of Silent Hill. So I was excited to be able to make sure that it was taken care of and that people would treat it with respect. But boy, did we get hate mail. We got a lot of hate mail, and I said stupid things because that's what I do. Good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Awesome. How are you today?
Very well. Thank you for coming so early. Oh, that's okay. Just happy you're here.
Well, we seen you yesterday, and you were so awesome. And
Oh, thanks. I'm less awesome today. No, I'm kidding. So it was very strange and wonderful to go in because I hadn't played the games. I'm a big chicken. And what I love about Silent Hill is that you can only see as far as your flashlight, as your lighter. So everything you're hearing, the sound design on Silent Hill, and if you haven't played it, it's old school, go back and play it because it adjusts your fear. How can I say this? Everything that you are hearing in your own mind, you make into whatever terrifies you the most. So it's a very personal experience, all through sound. The sound design on Silent Hill, I think, is sort of genius. So it was really fun to go back and actually look at all the cutscenes because I'd never seen them. So I finally knew what the plot was at Silent Hill, and then all of a sudden, Silent Hill 3, they walk into this amusement park, and I was like, oh, that's me singing. Wow, I never knew where the songs went and where, it was kind of a wonderful experience, and mixed in with a lot of hate mail from people that were just, do not mess with my original Silent Hill. Don't redo it, how dare you? It's just like doing anything. It's like redoing Powerpuff Girls or Sailor Moon or anything else. We got a lot of hate mail. Which made me sad because I was so proud to be a part of it and to be able to work on, the second and the third one and redo it with like Troy Baker and Laura Bailey, and it was the whole kind of Critical Role cast pretty much. Liam O'Brien. I mean, we had so much fun doing it. So I hope, and now that years have passed, that people will be able to appreciate both versions.
I would actually love if they did a remake of Silent Hill 4. I'm a huge Silent Hill 4 nerd.
Is that the room?
Yes.
Yes. We never got out of the room. I tried. I was like, all right, this one I'll start to play. I will play this game, and I couldn't get out of the room.
I love
like,
the room. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah, the music from the room is some of my favorite.
Soundtrack too.
Oh, yay, I'll tell Akira. We keep hoping. I want to go back and do a remastering of all of those, but do them in a different, like just have, just do the letter with like a cello and a steel drum or something weird, and completely re-envision it with more mechanical sounds, and strip it down, and just for conventions and stuff to be able to have something new. I don't know that Konami would let us do it, but it would be nice. It's a cover song. We can do cover songs, right? Sure, why not? Yeah.
This is just, this might trigger a little bit of people, but
Okay.
if Silent Hill had a Pachinko game and they asked you to sing for that Pachinko game, would you?
Yes. Yes. We did, I just directed a Pachinko game, two Pachinko games which is a very strange, wonderful thing because I do sort of love gambling. And, which is why I was a perfect fit to play Tsunade in the games because drinking, gambling, all me, thank you. And, well, I didn't have kids, so I'm like, well, I'll do that instead. So to play Pachinko, and I actually went into a Pachinko parlor in Tokyo. And the sound was unlike anything I'd ever heard. It's all the high-pitched balls and the bells and the whistles and everything. And so, so I got to direct a Pachinko game for Devil May Cry 4. And they did another one. I just directed another for Devil May Cry 4. I don't know why that's still so big, but it is. And somebody, I think his name was Armando Flores, actually sent Steve and I the Cowboy Bebop Pachinko game. A legit Pachinko game. It's insane. It's insane. So yeah, I would do, but I would imagine they would just reuse the songs if Konami wanted to do a Silent Hill game. I thought they actually had one, but I don't know. But I would imagine they would just reuse the songs. That's what they did in the movies. They reused a couple of the songs for each movie, and then we redid a couple new ones. So yeah, I would love to. I wish they'd do one in Vegas. That would be really fun.
Still speaking of Silent Hill.
Sure.
Back when Silent Hill 3 came out, it was paired with the soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
I played the heck out of that soundtrack. I just want to say, excellent job.
Thank you.
I love that soundtrack. But how did you get into singing?
Oh, I've been singing my whole life. My family, as every family needs to get together on a level and not fight, we used singing, we used music. So my parents were both in a cappella groups when they were in college, and they would teach us all 4-part harmonies and stuff, and we would just sing and sing, and I sang in the choir when I was a kid, and sang in the church choir, and then at school we had a choir, and then I auditioned for all-state choir, and I got into that, and then I went up to Interlochen in Michigan, the National Music Camp, and I sang there, and it was a real release for me, because I was kind of a moody little kid, and so it was a great way for me to find an outlet. Something creative, I think, is always a great way to sort of funnel all the nuts that we all feel in our lives, and you find everybody's got their own thing, and for me it was singing, and I loved singing. When I first came to Los Angeles, I sang at a place called the Smokehouse in Burbank, which is right across the street from Warner Brothers, and the cast and crew from Night Court would come in on Friday nights and say, "Sing Hanky Panky," because Dick Tracy had just come out, so I sang a lot, and then I started singing up at Universal Studios at Beetlejuice's Rockin' Graveyard Review, Bride of Frankenstein. I could not dance to save my life, but I could sing, so I think that's how I got, and they just sort of looked the other way when I ever had to dance. So I had always, and I stopped for a while because I was singing with a big band, and we did a gig in Nashville where I was it was a big band, so I had trumpet here and cymbals, the cymbal from the drum set, and I came home and I'd lost a lot of hearing in my right ear for about a week, so I just said I can't play with a band anymore because I can't sing with earplugs in, and at least I didn't at the time. The technology wasn't what it is now. So I stopped singing, and it really wasn't until Akira, well, I did Ace Combat Zero's song, The Journey Begins, and that's what, for the studio, and then Akira approached the same studio and said, I've got this, I need to find a singer, and so they had auditions, and they sent in the Journey Begins, and that's how I got it, and I've just been singing with Akira ever since. But I sang on Quantum Leap with Scott Bakula. When I was doing On Camera, I did the second to last episode of Quantum Leap, I think, and he leapt into Elvis Presley. And Elvis had to save a young girl who used to throw up every time she tried to sing. And I was the girl who threw up. That'll be on my tombstone. I was the girl who threw up. So I've been singing my whole life. It's just sort of been a part of who I am and my existence. Acting came a lot later because I have an identical twin, and they would say, well, we can't just cast one of you, that's not fair, so you be in the chorus. And I'm like, all right, I'll play the bassoon. And you be in the chorus, and that way I still get my individuality, which was sort of a big deal for me. So yeah, I've just been singing my whole life. It's probably akin to breathing for me. I just love doing it. I just sang, you guys know who Michelle Ruff is? Voiceover actor. She just got married in Italy a week ago, and Steve and I sang at her wedding. So it was amazing. So yeah, I'll sing everywhere to the point where people are like, would you stop singing, please? I'll stop singing. Yeah.
Yeah. So if they asked you to be in the movie Sharknado, you like being it?
Yes. With DC Douglas. I would be in it with DC Douglas and Robbie Rist in a heartbeat. Yes, 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 yes. I would be the singer that threw up in Sharknado 6 and got eaten by a shark.
The first one gonna be out tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Oh, so it's a Sunday night. Is it up against Game of Thrones? It's totally gonna be Game of Thrones.
Yeah, tomorrow.
You know nothing, John. Shark!
I know.
I know. Oh, I haven't. I'm assuming the whole gang is back.
Oh yeah, every one of them.
Leaf, no, it's not Leaf Garrett. Who is it? It's Leaf Garrett. How old am I? Zach.
Yeah, from the.
Yeah, Tara Reid and.
Tara Reid.
Yeah, we've had two. We've had Robbie Rist was in the first one, who's a voiceover actor as well, and DC Douglas was in the second or third one. I forget. So we get
second one.
Second one. Yeah. So we get some people from our voiceover community in the Sharknado movies, which is really fun.
Yeah, he did that
This
too.
is some quality filmmaking here, kids. It's not as good as Megalodon or Sharktopus, but they're pretty good.
Yeah.
I am a lover of PG-13. What can I say? Shit. Bad. Crappy. I can say crappy. It's also a fish. of crappy movies. In fact, we used to have a crappy movie group we would go to, and the worst movies we could find. It started with Attack of the Titans, I think. Release the Kraken, and we're like, this is the greatest bad movie ever. And so, yeah, I absolutely love bad movies. It's a Mystery Science Theater generation. I love bad movies. It sharpens your snark, and it's just fun.
I did meet the director.
You did?
Yeah, he was at one of the convention I went to.
Oh yeah, was he nice?
Oh yeah, very nice.
Yeah.
We talk about that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, that's fun. I bet they had a great time doing it. How much fun would you have doing a Sharknado movie? That's just got to be fantastic. Because you know there's some guy on a winch somewhere just throwing giant plastic sharks.
I know.
You know, it's like, this will be CG later. You know? How fun would that be? That would be amazing.
Sky's the limit.
I'm the Shark Chucker. I was Shark Chucker 1 in the fabulous Sharknado. That would be fun. I would love that. Yeah.
Does Zara have a least favorite member of Vox Machina?
Does Zara have a least favorite member of Vox Machina? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, I know Zara Vex, I think, is her favorite. She doesn't know Pike all that well. She hasn't really met her and spent time with her. I don't know. I asked Matt after the time jump. To me, what Zara would have been doing would have been that she made her own Slayer's take, but it was for information and spells. And I told Matt about it at the Ren Fair, and we'd all had a couple drinks. I was like, hey, Matt, so Zara would be like, make her own Slayer's take, but with, spells and information, because she's gathering information for her deity, who's still trying to decide whether or not the planet is worth saving. And it's sort of up to her to decide. What was that movie with Keanu Reeves? It's that, right? The Day the Earth Froze, no, that was the best Mystery Science Theater movie ever made. So I feel like that's what Zara would be doing. And I don't know that she has a least favorite. I don't know. I mean, she might be jealous of Percy because he's with Vex, but it's a platonic jealousy at this point.
Is there anyone she's intimidated the most by out of that group?
Maybe Percy. Maybe Percy. Percy's kind of a genius. But I think his secret favorite is Grog. It's always been Grog. Someday he'll use that moon hammer in the moonlight, and we'll see what happens. That's the key to the moon hammer. Use it in the moonlight. I don't even know what'll happen. But Matt said it was just like, maybe he should use it in the moonlight. I'm like, oh, but don't tell Travis that. Travis. Twitter, dear Twitter. Travis Grog, use the moon hammer in the moonlight. I don't know what would happen. Yeah.
Being that you're on the same topic, but being that you were new to D&D for your first time playing, what was it that got you as a new player to come back and want to do more episodes?
Oh,
Other than friends.
Other than world building with your best friends, it was the week in between of Sam and I were directing at the same studio, and I remember coming out during a break and just like, do you think I could cast Mass Suggestion on the Frost Giants? Are we supposed to talk about this? What is this? Is this metagaming? What is this? Am I doing this? Are we not allowed to talk about this? And I realized I spent an entire week trying to figure out whether or not I could cast, what it would take to make Mass Suggestion work on the Frost Giants. And that moment when Taliesin said, I hold my turn to see what happens, was one of the most exciting moments. I was like, oh my God, so they're gonna see, we're all gonna see what happens if we don't know. And it was just so, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it right now. That's what it was. And then the next week, knowing that the dragon was coming, and our new game, I've got 3 wands that I've attuned to, and they all do different things, and I don't know what I'm gonna roll. I have not, speaking of no trailers, I haven't read the Wild Sorcerer spell list, just so I'm surprised whenever I roll it, I roll on it. So it's just, I don't know, we're going through some rough times right now, and it's really nice to escape in a positive way with friends and create something new and that stretches your mind and stretches you creatively and builds a world that's still dangerous and everything else, but sort of empowers you to get out and fight the fight that you need to fight in this world as well,
Don't worry about healthcare, so.
Yes, that's what my Sorcerers is all about, is affordable healthcare, 100%. One of my wands will make that happen very soon. We just need to get back and play, that's it. Wild magic, you have no idea. And then I become a plant, a potted plant, and there's no healthcare. Except for some good water and maybe some sunlight, But really, that's all we need, right? Yeah. I do. I've voiced Nina Williams in Tekken for 4,000 years. No, yeah, for a long time. And she's one of those, it was kind of like Silent Hill, where she would, every year and a half, I'd get a call and be like, hey, we're doing more Tekken. I'm like, really? Okay. What did I play again? Like, oh, Nina, yeah. So it's always fun to see where you are in your life, between, I could sort of write it on a map of what was happening in my life during all the different Tekkens, because there's so many different versions of it, and it was so fun to always play Nina. Yeah. Who played her? Oh no, I wish. As a voice monkey, you just go in the booth and do your stuff and read the lines, and usually if it's adapted from something in Japanese, they may have some Japanese clients there, but very rarely will they have, like when we did Cowboy Bebop, I met Watanabe-san after we finished, so I never got to meet. But I have such respect, and it's such a cool world that they created, so yeah. Part of the, Sailor Moon? Yeah, it's awesome. It's crazy. And Robbie Damon's here. He just flew in. I saw him this morning, so he's here today. Go talk to him about all the, what does he plays? The Tuxedo Mask? Yeah.
But you're in it too with being the queen.
Yeah, I'm, is it Metalia? Queen Metalia. I was the really evil fog. Yeah. For a while, it's just like, I never have to think anything. She's just floating in the ether, just being evil. It was fun. It was really fun. It was sort of strange. I knew of Sailor Moon when I was a kid, and Yu-Gi-Oh! And all these other shows, and Speed Racer, and all this sort of fun thing. I wasn't into it all that much. I was more into Bugs Bunny. And I stayed true to Bugs for years. Even when Hanna-Barbera came out with all that stuff, I was like, that's nice, but I really like Bugs Bunny. But I did get into, I would watch a little bit of Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon and everything else, but I think by the time that came out, I was a little old for it. I was watching Dungeons and Dragons, which is my favorite cartoon, and which is where our D&D game is set, is in the world. Like, we just found Presto's hat. That was our first thing. I'm so excited. But I knew of it, and I also wasn't the girliest girl, and I always felt like, Sailor Moon's really girly, and I was more into Lego. Like, I was building, landscapes out of Lego, and so I was just sort of outside the Sailor Moon. I was on the periphery of Sailor Moon. So to be able to go in and be a part of it was sort of amazing. It was really fun, especially to be sort of a bad guy in it. It was great. But I love Stephanie Shea, and I love this whole new cast. Lauren Landa, who is, guys know Lauren Landa? She plays one of the new Sailor Moon girls, and she was always a fan of anime, and I met her at a convention when she was just a fan, and now she is a very well-established working actor in anime and animation, and it's just kind of amazing. I mean, we meet so many people at conventions who say, how do I get into voice acting? And you'd be surprised at how many of you guys actually do and become very successful in it. It's wonderful for the rest of us, because there really is enough work to go around. I firmly believe. Some people don't think that, but voiceover there is. And it's not a catty world. It's a very welcoming. If you ever want to know what it's like to do what we do, John DiMaggio did a documentary called I Know That Voice. And check it out. It's really fun. And it goes through anime and animation. It starts with Mel Blanc and goes up. And he interviews all of us. Billy West, and it's, of course, John DiMaggio, Jennifer Hale, Steve Bloom, Dee Baker, all these people that you may not recognize but you know their voice. That's why it's called, I guess, I know their voice. Brilliant. Yeah.
Your time in the Code Geass as Princess Cornelia, I know you said you liked playing powerful women, which she is. What was that all like?
It was fun. It was fun because, like, I would always go in and you'd hear actors who would come in before me, so I got to play off of them, and it would be like playing off of your, again, best friends. There's Travis Willingham and Roger Craig Smith, and And it was with this amazing director, Kevin Seymour, who not recently, passed away about 4 years ago. But he did Akira and Ghost in the Shell, and Kevin was so much fun to work with. And it was really great. I mean, I love Johnny Young Bosch, and it's always fun to find a way to torture Johnny, you know, because I directed him on Wolf's Rain and Tenkai Nights and Bleach, and when I directed a little bit of Bleach. So to get to work, yeah, there he is. So to get to work with him on camera, you know, as a voice, is an amazing thing. It was really fun. Yeah. Yeah.
How was the recording for Xenoblade Chronicles?
Xenoblade Chronicles. Wow. How long ago was that? Yeah, it was a long time ago, right? I don't remember much of that one, to be honest. There are a lot of another thing about voice acting is that they usually don't give you the script unless it's original animation. You usually don't get the script beforehand, so you go in and a lot of it is cold reading. If you want to be a good actor, learn how to cold read, because you're going to be thrown in the booth. Okay, here we go, beep, 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 and maybe you get a preview, maybe you don't, and you've got to cold read stuff. So, and with games, the same thing. You go in, they don't give you the script, you just go in and do the game, do the lines, get directed, scream, and especially in games, you're in like a vacuum. And sometimes, most of the time, they don't have any visual reference for you at all. When I was doing the Crusader for Diablo, I had no visual reference for like the first 6 months. And so you walk out of a session, you're very much in the moment in the session, and you walk out, and sometimes it just, you go on to the next, you know? So I have happy general memories of that project, but it's hard to remember. Plus I had 2 martinis last night. Yes? Oh, you know, I'd seen the movie and I was just obsessed with the music and the visuals and all of it. I thought Tom Weiner as the puppet master was just fantastic, and Richard as Bateau, and I thought the world was really something unusual and something, you know, NASA bases a lot of its technology on what Gene Roddenberry did on Star Trek. He was a great visionary, and you could actually say, that's logical, that works, that can be made, and if it was, that would be an amazing advance in human technology. I felt that way about Ghost in the Shell, looking at all of this stuff, not understanding half of it, but just thinking, oh my gosh, that's conceivable. And now with virtual reality and the way the internet, because the internet wasn't that big back then at all, and now it is. And now it is probably conceivable to at some point be able to extract the energy that is us, you know, the synapses firing, and put us into another electrical current. That could conceivably be done. So when I first saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And cybernetic bodies, what would happen to us as human beings if we could transfer everything into a cybernetic body? All of our soul, all of our memories, all of the essence of who we are, our humanity as a being into, you know, this cybernetic body. What would that do to us as human beings? I call it the fly dilemma. You know, it's just when Jeff Goldblum tries to zap a steak from one pod to the next, and then they cook it up, and Gina Davis tries it and says, she's like, oh, something's wrong. What's it missing? The flesh. It's missing the flesh. And most of what we are as human beings is obviously an obsession with the flesh and each other and everything else. So what would that do to us as a species if we took away this major element of what we are and what makes us humans, which is the meat sacks? You know, what would happen? It would be interesting. I don't know. So being a part of that world was pretty fantastic. In a roundabout, babbly, I had 2 martinis last night kind of way. Yeah?
Who's your favorite person to work with?
My favorite person to work with? Oh, I don't know. The person I'm working with at the moment, you know, unless they're being poopy. Voiceover is amazing. It's a very intimate experience. When we do Tangled, we rarely have more than 1 actor in the booth. So it's a very intimate exchange of energy and creativity. And it's an engineer, sometimes a producer, the exec producer next to me, and Mandy or Zach or somebody in the booth. So it's every actor is different. Every actor has a different way of working, and it's there are some processes that are amazing. People have amazing processes to work with. I'm trying not to answer this question directly because I don't want to pull. How about Steve Bloom? Steve Bloom is my favorite person to work with. I love him. I'll work with him in anything. Yes.
Speaking of Tangled.
Yes.
The character Cassandra.
Yes.
Lesbian. Will there be like the first Disney lesbian?
I don't know. I can't say anything. There's a great new strong female character introduced into the world of Tangled named Cassandra, and she will turn out to be one of the most pivotal characters in the mythology of Tangled. That's all I'll say.
Because she seems like too strong enough to be, or it just seems like that there should be like a storyline with her.
Oh, hold on to your butts. She's amazing, and Eden Espinosa is amazing, and where she goes will knock your socks off. I can't say anything else. I wish I could. Boy, do I wish I could. We just gave all of Chris Sonnenberg and I sat down with James Monroe Englehart, who plays Lance, who's currently in Hamilton on Broadway, and just told him the whole mythology of what's to come, and he was just, oh my God, what, oh my God. So stay tuned. You'll see, it's gonna be great. It's going to be wonderful. Yeah.
How do you disconnect from your work? Like, to calm down physically, emotionally, mentally?
I go swimming, scuba diving, and astrophotography. I've gone down the rabbit hole, not as much as Roger Craig Smith has. We went to HawaiiCon 2 years ago and walked out on the beach. It's so beautiful. It was up on the Big Island, Hapuna, and the hotel shone a spotlight down on the beach. But I said, let's go beyond the spotlight. It's got to be gorgeous out there. I see some stars. We walked out, and the Milky Way just, wham, just hit us square in the head. And Steve and I laid down on the sand and just looked up. And for the first time, we felt like we were on a planet, and we were on a spaceship Earth, floating and spiraling and soaring through the galaxy. And I had a camera with me, and Aaron Douglas, who's a great friend, he was the chief on Battlestar Galactica, had this exact same camera, and we met this amazing photographer called Warren Fintz, who runs a company called Epics Photography, and we said, how do we shoot? We don't know how to use these cameras that we have. And the Milky Way is insane. How do I shoot the Milky Way? And he says, well, I'll meet you tomorrow night, but tonight, just go out there and open the aperture all the way up. What do you got? I said, it'll open up to 2.8. Open it up to 2.8, do 1600 ISO, and set it up for 15 seconds and see what you get. And then start tweaking with it. And I have gone down the rabbit hole for astrophotography. So I'm obsessed with the Milky Way. I live in LA. We sometimes get Orion. That's it. And Cassiopeia. And no, there's Jupiter and there's Saturn. So to go out and look up and let your eyes adjust on a moonless night, you're just like, why is there a cloud? It's like, it's not a cloud. That's the galactic center. That's the core of the galaxy right there. That's the Milky Way. And it's beautiful, and it helps put things in perspective for me. My bucket list is to get on Virgin Galactic or whatever will take me up and give me some time in zero-G looking down on the planet. There's a great documentary, it's only about 20 minutes long, which talks to all the astronauts that have been up there, or a number of them, and they ask, how does being in zero-G looking down on the planet, how has that changed your life? And they said it has completely changed your whole perspective on us as a species, and you look down on this beautiful blue marble, and it's like, we have to protect this. It's the only one we've got. There's no planet B yet, you know, and that's what I want. That's my bucket list, is to head up. Are we done?
Yep.
Hey, I'm gonna go do a signing, so come down and we can talk about more stuff. And then, do I have another panel today?
No. You
But
have 2 signings today.
I have 2 signings today. I'm gonna look up my thing. Martinis. 2 signings today from 12 to 1:45, and then another from 4 to 5:45. But then tomorrow morning we've got a great big panel at 11 with Steve and Scott McNeil. It's going to be dueling Wolverines, and I'll be the sandwich in between, joyfully going, oh, it's snicked. So see you guys later. Thank you, Tampa. Have a great day, and we'll see you soon.